Have no fear, the Digipreneur is here. Keron Rose joins us out there in Thailand, next side of the world. Obviously, Keron, before we get into our discussion, is there any kind of, what's the conversation in Thailand based on the activities in the Gulf? You are way closer to what's happening there than we are. What's the mood in Thailand at this point in time? And good morning to you, Keron. Great to see you as always.
Yeah, good morning to you as well. So the mood in Thailand has been pretty interesting. Right now, it's protection. So, like I was telling you off air, Thailand is an oil-producing nation. So they export a lot of their crude oil and they export it to the Middle East. So what they did was they cut all exports of their oil supplies to keep everything locally. And then one of the big announcements today was that they activated their coal factories in order to keep the energy running. So again, I didn't even know there was coal factories still in existence, but here we are.
Wow, very, very interesting. And then normally I know you would route your flight through Qatar to get back to Trinidad. That's clearly, well, at least if you were to have to come home immediately, you'll have to find a different. What would be the next alternative route? Obviously, since you can't really go to Qatar at this point in time.
So the good thing is that what people don't know is that Thailand has the most international connections in the entire world, right? The most. So getting back to Trinidad is not a problem. The thing is that the route through Qatar was the cheapest. It was the most economical flight. So the second best would be we would fly out to Japan, and then Japan you either go to Houston or you go to New York, and then you fly back to Trinidad from there. So you still have the routes, but the Qatar route was definitely the most cost-effective one. It would be Qatar to Miami and then to Trinidad. So we just got to use the other ones and pay a couple more dollars.
Yeah, well, Keron, you be safe, and by all means, we get into our discussion this morning, and we are treating with why TNT citizens are struggling to land remote jobs. I didn't even know we were struggling. What's happening there?
Yeah, so, as of about 2 weeks ago, I've officially joined the TT Guardian business team. So every single Thursday, you can see my content inside of the TT Guardian. So last week, I did an article on the top remote job boards in the globe. Like if you are looking for remote jobs and working for companies around the world, last week's article treated with the top boards that you could go and apply to. And Jason, since that article last week, my emails, my DMs has reached the hundreds of people with PhDs, masters, bachelors who have been, applying or, coming to me with their stories about, and again, the local job market is also a part of the conversation as well. People are looking for alternatives outside of the local job market, but they can't seem to land those jobs. And there's been some common themes that I'm seeing as to what has been keeping people back from getting the opportunities with international companies. And I think it's a good point to treat with some of the key things that I'm seeing. That way people can correct themselves so that they can get a better opportunity to get those jobs outside of the regional market.
What's the biggest hindrance, stumbling block?
So the biggest one that I'm seeing is skill misalignment. So yes, people are qualified, they have the degrees, the PhDs, but what we have to keep in mind is that the minute you start to now apply for jobs on the global scale, it's a lot more competitive. You are now competing with people that are doing short courses almost every other day, that are building up their skill sets. One of the things that we're seeing now that we weren't seeing, 6 months ago is you have jobs. It doesn't even matter what you are in, what field you're in. You could be an accountant, you could be in health. You have employers that are now asking for things like AI fluency. We're not talking about just using ChatGPT to generate an image or treating it like Google where you can ask information. You have people that are looking for actual skill sets within AI regardless of the industry. And we don't have many institutions that are even upskilling locally in AI skill sets. So we are structured to apply for jobs locally, right? But as soon as we step out and we see international companies asking for a different set of skill sets to complement your degrees, that's where we're lacking, and that's something that's keeping back. That's one of the things that's keeping people back from landing those international roles.
Interesting. Another stumbling block would be?
So the next big stumbling block would be outdated outdated job application strategies. So here's a huge one. We have people that would build their resumes inside of tools like Canva, because Canva gives you beautiful templates. They use Microsoft Publisher, and they use other tools as well to create these beautiful resumes. The problem is, almost every single organization internationally uses something called applicant tracking software, or for short form, ATS. If you do not know what an ATS compliant resume is, basically it's this software that scans your resumes, and if there's graphics, if there's columns, anything that you do to make it beautiful, the ATS software that international companies use automatically disqualifies these resumes. So your resumes are not even making it past the AI filtration system. And that's again because we are not, we're not being trained, we're not being told about, how to craft ATS compliant resumes, because truth be told, HR, they're in tech too. There's HR tech, and HR tech is allowing them to get more granular on the types of candidates that they want. But if you, the applicant, do not know what an ATS resume is, then your resume is discarded before it even goes to any human to see.
Wow, interesting. That one I don't know. I don't know that one at all. That's a blow mind. What else as we go through this very important talking point?
Yeah, so the next big one is LinkedIn platform. So the average person across the Caribbean, this is not just a TNT problem, but across the Caribbean, the average person does not use LinkedIn, has not signed into LinkedIn, and even if they've created a profile, they still don't know how to use LinkedIn. But here's the thing, LinkedIn has now become the evolution of the CV. It's become the evolution of the resume. Anytime you are applying to organizations outside of the Caribbean, one of the first things they're going to ask you to upload your resume, and the software is going to pull out all the information from the resume. But right below that, it's asking you to drop your LinkedIn profile in there, and recruiters are acutely going through your LinkedIn platforms. If you do not have a LinkedIn presence, if you are not producing any type of meaningful conversations within your realm of expertise on LinkedIn, recruiters are simply going to just go to the next candidate that looks like they have a good understanding of the role and functions that they are applying for through their LinkedIn content. But again, because LinkedIn is now the evolution of the CV, all of the information and things that HR recruiters are or the tools that they're using to bring in their clients, it's happening through LinkedIn. And the average person in the Caribbean either doesn't have LinkedIn or is underutilizing the platform. And again, that is disqualifying people from even getting in front of a human for that job.
Yeah, not even getting you're not even going to be on in the conversation, because clearly.
Not in the conversation.
Wow. And we're talking here, and these are global jobs, not so much the regional experience, because obviously I know within CARICOM there's CSME, and you could maneuver different ways through different contacts. But we're talking here, once we step out of the region, this is the gold standard.
Yes. Right? This is the global standard that we're trying to get people to. So all the job boards we spoke about last week, these are for international jobs. They're paying you in stronger currencies. You're getting paid in US or in pounds or Australian dollars. So you want to have these jobs. And again, when you have it's not like we don't have the talent. We have the talent. We have amazing people. But because we don't understand the fine-tunement of how international companies are hiring people, we are not even getting our talented people in front of real recruiters. We're being disqualified from the game.
Keron Rose, I want to say sincere thanks. You be safe out there, and God spare we'll get a chance again to touch base next Tuesday inside our Digipreneur.
For sure, and you keep safe too, and take care.
That's right, Keron Rose. Well, we get into our conversation. Up next, Dr. LeBlanc, and she is joined by a very special guest Christian Hadid, as we treat with the 5K, Vita's House, and the Walk to Remember. Full details after the break.